Hard drive suddenly became unresponsive, recovered on reboot. What to do next? So I have a desktop PC with an SSD and an HDD. Windows 10 is installed on the SSD, all my data is on the HDD. Today while I was playing a game, it suddenly became unresponsive. At the same time, the video I was watching on my second monitor froze as well. The game is installed on the hard drive, the video file was on that hard drive as well. Both programs became unresponsive, while all other programs that are installed on the SSD continued to run fine. After about 2 minutes, the game crashed and the window disappeared, along with VLC player, which was playing the video file. I checked the Explorer, and the E and D partitions on that hard drive didn't show up anymore. So I rebooted and the drive shows up again. I ran chkdsk on the drive, which ran fine and returned no errors or bad sectors, CMD output below. I also installed ctools and ran a couple of the simple tests on the drive, all of which ran fine and didn't show any error. So now I'm not sure what to do. All my data is continuously backed up, so if the drive crashed and didn't come back, I wouldn't lose much. Since the SSD doesn't seem to be affected, I could probably just install a new hard drive without even having to reinstall Windows. But of course I don't want to throw away a perfectly good 2 TB hard drive, and since everything seems to be fine. What could have caused this problem? How likely is it that it was a software defect rather than a hardware problem? I noticed earlier that the video froze a couple of times, but I was copying some files and downloading some other stuff, so that's not that unusual. Are there any other diagnostics I can perform to see if there's a problem with the hard drive? Any suggestions are welcome. Thanks.
If the disk only crashed once and now everything is okay, then this event was maybe exceptional. My own guess is that the hardware overheated because you were using a lot the CPU and or the CPU. What you can do to check the problem? Look for a useful error or warning in the event viewer. Install a product that can show the disk SMART data and tell you if there is a problem, example Speccy. Install a temperature monitoring product such as SpeedFan, which can be configured to display the current temperatures in the taskbar for easy monitoring. If heating up is the problem, you may verify that the game uses the video CPU and not the CPU. Clean up all airways. If a laptop, place it at an angle, so the air can pass below it, or by a cooling pad. Renew the CPU thermal paste and heatsink, better done by a professional. Replace the CPU heatsink and fan with a better one, also better done by a professional.
The command you ran, chkdskd:/f, doesn't do any checking of the drive surface. The proper command would be chkdskd:/r. This will perform a full surface scan. If bad blocks are discovered, the drive is failing. You can also use ctools and do a long test. Short tests do not check the drive surface. chances are the drive is failing. I'm assuming it's a Seagate if you are using C-tools. Seagates are not only notoriously low-quality drives, they do exactly what you described when they start getting bad sectors. Instead of recovering, they shut down completely until power cycled. Skirting the line of personal opinion here, it's not really a loss to get rid of it now before it inevitably dies. Stay away from that brand.
Move on. In your question you seem to ask which things you can do, but in the title you ask what you should do. To list the key points, you have a backup. The problem only occurred once. You did some checks, which came out clean. At this point it's simply not time efficient to keep digging deeper, unless you enjoy it. If the problem persists, you can always decide to go deeper in your search, or replace the drive. Of course, some generic maintenance, for example cleaning the fans, can never hurt, but don't spend too much time on it.
If a partition doesn't show up anymore, the first thing to check would be what diskmgm.msc sees. Is the partition itself gone? Which would mean something damaged the partition table, which is a rare thing unless malice is involved, or is the file system in that partition damaged beyond being recognized? Use file system specific tools, or has something simply unmapped the drive letter? If the reliability of a drive is suspect, generic smart utilities, e.g. the mentioned Crystal Disk Info, are your friend. Try to understand as much as you can of the actual smart values displayed, not just the conclusion a tool draws from them. Pending sectors that aren't going away fast mean the drive should be going away fast. Overtemperature or spin-up failure events also can make a drive suspect.
If you want to support the channel, please consider subscribing.